You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz TV studios in Los Angeles, California, filling in for the great Sir Richard Wentworth, this is Phil Svitek, announcing tonight's Grammy Fashion Special, hosted by Jackie Miranne, Mari Fagel, Pamela Pekerman, and Courtney Stewart. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can do so by dialing 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the fashion leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV's Grammy Special.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you, Phil. I'm Jackie Miranne, joined by my fashionable co-host back for a third time this award season for perhaps, well, let's just say it's the most interesting red carpet of all the award shows, the Grammys Fashion Special. And I know our producer/announcer for this show, Phil, is disappointed he didn't see Leah Michelle on this red carpet, but there's plenty more to talk about, Phil. Don't you worry. And we're going to get to it all right now with my great
Jackie,
co-host.
Jackie, I just figured third time would have been a charm, you know? But hey, goes to show.
That's
what do I
okay.
know?
We always have the Oscars. I don't know if she's invited, but we'll see. But certainly, we have some sexiness going, and obviously the one-woman show, in my opinion, that was the Grammys. We're going to get to her real quick, but first, let me introduce my fashionable co-host, Mari Fagel, live in the AfterBuzz studios. So happy to have you representing in LA this time around.
Thank you. I wish you guys were all in studio, but I'm the only one here, so I had to rep Valentine's Day and wear some pink and maybe a little leather to represent the fun of the Grammys.
There you go. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. And calling in, of course, we have style expert from New York and host Pamela Pekerman. Welcome, Pamela.
Hi, Jackie. I like how you use the word interesting because I think the Grammys, that's a very PC word to use, but we're definitely going to get into that.
Well, when we get into machine guns as accessories, you know that it's the Grammys.
Are you saying that you don't have a machine gun on your arm on a daily basis?
I know. I mean, who doesn't? But I know. Well, I know Courtney Stewart doesn't. I think that's a good thing. And she's our last co-host tonight. Welcome, Courtney.
Hello, everybody. And yes, I keep my machine guns in my closet. I don't usually wear them as bracelets.
It felt very Russian. This Grammy felt very Russian to me. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
It was definitely from another world.
Yeah, this is a whole other level. Like, really, when you talk about the Grammys, I just don't even know what to say sometimes because there's this whole little thing that these artists like to use, like this artistic license excuse. You know, you're still walking a red carpet. So, listen, we're going to give it to you, and if the fashion is not good, I don't care who it is, you're going to get bawled out by us, and that's just how it goes because you're still walking a red carpet unless you're Lady Gaga, of course, and she kind of slapped all of us in the face and didn't walk the red carpet at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you said, you know, you have the artistic license, but if you don't dress well, you know, we're going to call you out on it, I think Lady Gaga is the Helena Bonham Carter of the Grammys. You know what I mean? Like Helena Bonham Carter, you always know she's going to be crazy when she does Oscars, SAG, Golden Globes, whatever, and she's the only one who can get away with it, and no one's really going to say anything. Same thing for Lady Gaga. She can wear an egg, she can wear a veil over her face, whatever. No one's really going to say anything. We'll get into this now. Nicki Minaj, other artists, they don't have that I can rock anything and no one's going to say a word. But, yeah, I did feel like it was a slap in the face that she didn't walk the red carpet because I was watching. I was thinking to myself, is she not even there? I know she's nominated. So it was kind of a slap in the face. And, you know, to go from such a grand entrance last year with the egg to not even walking the red carpet this year, I don't know if it was I don't want to walk it because of Whitney Houston and I'm paying respects. I don't think that's what it was. I don't know what it was. I don't know what her excuse was for that.
She was wearing that sort of black veil, so there might be something to it. But it was interesting because I didn't think she was there. And when they showed her sitting in the front row, I was like, oh, you are there. And you look semi, dare I say, normal right now, so why didn't you even walk? Because I would have been excited to see, the whole ensemble walk down next to, everything else, and the monk and the priest, which we're going to get into, and all that good stuff.
I like how you call a veil over her head and whatever that stick was normal. Of course, for Lady Gaga, I guess that is normal.
Yeah, she was relatively normal for her.
You have to look at the Grammys through some sort of special filter. It is not any other red carpet. It is anything goes, the meat, the cheese, the dairy farm, the egg, the planets around you. I mean, anything goes there.
Which is why I think that we, as style analysts, I think we give a lot more leeway on this red carpet.
Definitely.
We'll get into it. I think that a lot of people, if they wore these outfits to any other award show, we'd be like, hell no. But a lot of them, I liked them, and we'll talk about Fergie, and we'll talk about the people who were like on that cusp of either, oh, well, that's Grammy appropriate, or oh, we hated it. I think you are allowed to take more risks, and we're more willing to accept those risks, I think. Unless it's like egregious, which we'll talk about the egregious ones.
Yeah, but the funniest thing about this award show is there was the crazy, there was the sexy, and honestly, I think if you look great, you look great. I don't care what red carpet it is. And if you look at our best dressed, they technically could have been walking any red carpet, in my opinion, pretty much of the award season, because they just looked great. I mean, it doesn't have to scream Grammys like Nicki Minaj, and I don't even, if you don't pull it off, you don't pull it off. But the weirdest thing is, besides the sexy, besides the crazy, there was so much maturity, let me say, on as far as being covered up. There were so many girls all covered up, from Adele to Carrie Underwood to Katy Perry. Some pulled it off, some didn't. But, you mentioned the passing of Whitney Houston, which of course, thoughts out to the family and very sorry for that loss. But you wonder, and Lady Gaga not walking the carpet, you wonder if this covered up thing, some people attributed that to possibly the tone of the evening being set by that event. But there definitely was this like mature theme going on as far as the style for some people as well, which was, I don't know, I feel like for the Grammys it was surprising.
It was surprising, and I highly doubt any of those women changed their outfits on Sunday and gave themselves 24 hours to change their outfits. I think they all went with the covered-up look regardless of Whitney Houston, and all three of them, I hated the covered-up look. And you know what you were saying? You were like, the outfits that were the best dressed that we did like apply to any award show. I'm not so sure about that, because the outfits that I liked most were the ones who showed the most skin. And we'll get into those, but the sexiest ones, the ones who showed the most skin in a great, tasteful way, I loved. But if they showed that much skin at the Oscars or at the Golden Globes, we would be talking about it in not so good of a way. You know how we were talking about how Busy Phillips at the SAG Awards was in that beach tie-dye and it didn't make sense? You know what I mean? I think that the ones that I personally thought were best dressed at the Grammys would not have made sense at another award show.
Well, let's definitely get into it. I see what you're saying, Mari, but I feel like they're just dresses that can translate as great dresses is kind of where I was going, but I totally see what you're saying. Sexy ruled for me, that's for sure. And it should at the Grammys. I think that's totally, as you said, maybe not at other award shows, but definitely at the Grammys. And let's just talk about who I thought was truly in her own category, and I'm not even a huge fan of her style necessarily, Rihanna. Let's talk about the sexiness that was Rihanna in Armani. I mean, I think the best part about Rihanna was saying she collaborated and designed it with Armani. I really want to know if that's true, because if it's not, that's like saying you write your own lines. But apparently she's designing a capsule collection. I thought slits and curves in all the right places, and she truly, to me, was so sexy that even, I think it was Ross Matthews on E! Who's Gay, was like, wow, she's even got me feeling like, woo! And that's a good thing. She was hotter than hot. Come on. What do you guys think?
She was definitely bringing the sexy. By the way, I love the hair. I loved her hair last night, or rather on Sunday night. And in comment, Jackie, to her collaborating with Armani on this dress, sorry, but where's the collaboration? There's really not that much fabric here, okay? This is basically being held together with a prayer. There was a lot of praying involved before she went down. A lot of tape, double-sided tape, I think is involved here. So I like that little, I collaborated with Armani. But, I mean, it's exciting to know that she's going to be doing a capsule collection, and it'll be interesting to see how much fabric will be in that.
Well, Courtney, I think you have something to say about the hair on Rihanna.
Oh, yeah. See, okay, so my overall feeling of the Grammys was one of quite a bit of disappointment in general with the fashion. And not just because they're ridiculous, like they're supposed to be, because I expect that with Grammys, but I will say, Rihanna, her body looked amazing, the dress looked amazing. I absolutely hate the hair, and I hate the makeup. I feel like in all her pictures, it's so, like, her entire face just washed out. Like, I didn't even see her face. Like, I couldn't see her. And she's got gorgeous eyes, and she's got gorgeous shaped eyes, and I get the relaxed, sort of beachy kind of dress it down hair thing, but it looked like a raggedy mop to me. Like, I feel like the hair looked burned up, and the blonde, I love the color, but I'm like, it just looked fried. It didn't look as sexy as her body did in that dress, and her face didn't glow and pop to me at all. I spent more time looking at her backside and her boobs because the body looks so amazing, but her face completely melted into the hair for me. So that was but I love those shoes. The shoes were great.
I have to say,
what do you think?
I think that she looks absolutely flawless from top to bottom. I love the hair. I love the color. I love that beachy look and the bangs and that light, like, pinky nude lip gloss. I think her eyes pop. I thought the entire look was absolutely flawless. And I wasn't so sure because when she first did this blonde look, I don't know if you've noticed her off carpet looks that she's been rocking with this new blonde hair. It's kind of a Taylor Momsen-esque look, and I hate Taylor Momsen. I despise Taylor Momsen's style. Her, what does she call it, hooker chic? And Rihanna's kind of been doing that with the, like, I don't know if you guys saw, she had these, like, short jean cut-up shorts and these tall hooker boots. And I was like, oh, no, I really hope Rihanna does not go down this road. And then she shocked me with this. I thought she was beautiful and effortless, and we'll talk about it, but she's very on trend because it's kind of that cutout kind of look. We've been seeing this all red carpet season long, is kind of the cutout look and, like, the black cutout. I think she looks gorgeous. I mean, look at that back and that butt. I think she looks totally flawless. Perfection for me.
I actually have to say, I was so busy looking at the necklace and the boobs and the butt, and I'm a girl, whatever, straight girl, but no, you can't help it. I mean, come on, I didn't even really pay much attention to the hair and makeup, so I see there's a little bit of a battle here. I think it's all about what skin is showing and where it's shaping and all that good stuff. And let me just say, a little side note, the necklace in between the boobs, that's how you do a necklace in between cleavage. Christina Aguilera on The Voice, Lord help her. She needs to learn where to put the diamonds, and it's not in between that cleavage. But now that I got that out, let's move on to another cutout trend and another gorgeous woman who actually I didn't notice on the carpet, but when she went on stage, I think everybody, like, on Twitter went crazy. Gwyneth Paltrow and Stella McCartney, from the cutouts to these are two women already, number one and number two, in black, slinky, straight, almost minimal dresses, but when you can rock not a little black dress, a slinky black dress, boy, can it become powerful. And Gwyneth Paltrow, next example, she's so clean and fresh, and it never ends with her. I love her. She's one of my style favorites as far as looking to for personal style inspiration. What did you ladies think of Gwyneth?
You know, normally I'm not a Gwyneth fan, but I think she stole the night yesterday when she went on stage. I kind of was like, oh, thank you, there's an actress in the house. I thought that the dress was stunning, the hair was perfect. This was 90s minimalism at its perfection, and I think that Gwyneth Paltrow is sort of the poster child for that. The makeup was flawless, and I love that gold belt. There were 3 people who walked down the red carpet in a gold belt. It was Juliana Rancic and, I hate to say it, but Paris Hilton, and Gwyneth Paltrow. I just, you just really never want to say anything there. But I just had to. The three of them with the gold belt. Sorry. I mean, the gold
She
belt.
did look good. Paris did look good.
Paris Hilton, sorry to take away from Gwyneth for a second, but I have to say I really liked how Paris Hilton looked. So, but maybe I'll
Why
have
was
to say
she
that
there,
again.
though?
She was, of course. But Gwyneth looks stunning and glowing, and here's a woman doing the same sort of idea as Rihanna, but in a more mature, age-appropriate way. I wouldn't have wanted to see her necessarily in the same exact cutout dress as Rihanna. So good for her rocking it. I think she's over 40 now.
That's a good point. Courtney, what did you think?
I think she looks beautiful as usual. I'm kind of bored, but that's just because for Grammys I want to see a little more rock and roll, like a little something extra, and I feel like she looks beautiful. Like she could have gone on any red carpet in that for the most part, but it wasn't that exciting for me. But she does look amazing. Her body's obviously sick and amazing, and it's nice.
No, I think it was exciting. I think Courtney maybe looking at this picture is not that exciting, but when you saw her on camera, it was more exciting because actually it's cut out right here. So she has like a lot of side boob going on and she's rocking it. And so I don't think this picture is doing it justice. I mean, when I saw her on television, I thought it was a really wow and very daring. This, like seeing it right now, looks like she's playing it a little safe, but I thought it was very daring. And she's on the cover of, I believe, Bazaar magazine. Her whole spread is all black cutout, and she looks awesome. And so maybe she thought to herself, hey, I just did this whole shoot with this black cutout and I looked great. Let's continue the trend for the Grammys. And she pulled it off once again. I thought she looked absolutely flawless. Her and Rihanna were by far my two top favorite picks, and they are going by the less is more, and I love that. Less is more skin. But,
right, in so many
simple,
ways.
simple, black cutouts in the appropriate places, a little bit of gold, that pinky nude lip, and I just thought they both looked totally flawless, and I was glad to see Gwyneth Paltrow there.
Absolutely, and from one actress to another, Kate Beckinsale, who, by the way, guys apparently, just flipping over Kate Beckinsale. She's one of, the sexiest actresses to men.
I have to admit something. Kate Beckinsale is on my boyfriend's, what are those lists? I mean, they're fake, but one of those lists of...
Free pass.
Yeah.
A free pass list. It's Kate Beckinsale is his
so
number
funny.
one. Whatever. David Beckham's mine, so it's all right.
Well, she was in Zuhair Murad, same as Taylor Swift, obviously, very different style, but she's an actress, and just like Gwyneth, I think they both know their role. They're not super music stars, and so they just dress sexy, fun, and in a totally different way, drapey and creamy. Kate Beckinsale with the black accent, very sexy. What did you guys, Pamela, Courtney, Mari, what did you guys think of Kate Beckinsale?
I loved it. I mean, here's again an actress showing the rest of the Grammys how it's done. But I like that she went short, because this is sort of, again, you mentioned, Jackie, this isn't her show, right? She's not coming here to win anything. She obviously was a presenter, but I like that she had a little fun. She went with a short little cocktail dress, simple black shoes. There was nothing wow about it, and yet it did have that impact. So I liked seeing her there. It was refreshing among the craziness that was around her.
Which we'll get to, for sure. We're saving the best for last.
Yeah.
What do you think of Kate Beckinsale, Courtney?
I think she's beautiful as always. I personally also think she's one of the hottest chicks out there, especially in Hollywood. And I'm not that excited about the dress. It was fine. It was okay. But she looks hot, and that's important. And she made it work. She made it look better than most everybody else on that carpet, so good for her.
Yeah, once again, I kind of think this is a case of the picture not doing it justice, because when she walked out on the stage, just the eye makeup, the hair, everything, I thought she really rocked it. And she brought her daughter on the red carpet. It seemed like her daughter was loving being there, so I thought that was sweet. And I absolutely love the hair because some people don't like the poof. I think Snooki ruined the poof for people because I used to do the poof. I used to love the poof and I used to rock the poof. And then every time, in the last 3 years I've worn it, people always say, oh, you're doing the Snooki. And so I hate that Snooki took the poof away from, like the glamour away from the poof. But she's doing the poof well. I loved it. I thought it rocked. It worked with that short dress. I mean, look at those legs. I just thought that she looked awesome.
That's a good point about the poof, because you're totally right. Like, Snooki really ruined that for everybody. She cheesed that up.
She made it from glamorous to trashy.
Kate Beckinsale can bring it back.
Seriously. And Mari, as a fellow petite girl, I have to say that I used to depend on the now infamous, we call it Snooki bump it, because I'm 5'1" with the bump it. Now I'm just 5. Very upsetting.
Oh, you're the same height as me.
Yeah, that's what platforms are for, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I'm going to move on to someone who's not on anyone else's best. Oh, no, actually, thank goodness for Courtney, because she shared this one with me. But I wonder what you ladies thought of Jessie J and Julian McDonald, because I don't even really know who she is, which might make me sound really bad right now, but I'm not too familiar with her.
She sings that song Domino.
What's that?
She sings the song Domino.
Okay, so there we go.
She's like, did that help?
That actually still means nothing to me.
And she sang that great song a couple months ago that was on the radio. What was that other song that she sang that was
Mari,
so good?
can I egg you to sing it?
Oh my God, I almost thought about it, but I have the worst. But it's like a domino, dirty dancing in the moonlight. That one. Yeah. Do you know what one I'm talking about? Like. No.
I love that you just sang. I don't care. But you just sang and that makes me happy.
I have not sang, by the way, for 10 years. The last time I sang, I took singing lessons in 9th grade for a couple weeks, but I was so embarrassed after my best friend walked in and caught me singing children's Broadway songs, and she walked in and I was singing Les Miserables, Castle on a Cloud, and I was so mortified I haven't sang since.
Well, there you go. AfterBuzz TV exclusive. Mari Fagel sang for the first time. And thanks, Jessie J, for that. Somehow she's responsible. But her dress, for me, the picture I couldn't find a picture that had the impact of when she first walked on the red carpet, and I thought, wow, that looks really cool. Like, looking at it in the picture, it might look like too conservative in certain spots, and then, take away from the effect of what I thought she really had an impact when she walked on the carpet in sequins in a totally different way. And so, for me, that's how I judge my favorites, or people that I remember with impact. And I could pick it apart a little bit after the fact, but she had impact for me, and so I put her on my best dressed. And I'm wondering, Pamela, Courtney, Mari, I want you to weigh in on this one.
She was not on my best dressed list. She wasn't on my worst either. I felt rather neutral. I mean, looking at the image, it does seem like it's ill-fitted, and she looks like a disco ball. And she referred to herself as the human disco ball, so I kind of like when somebody can acknowledge what they actually look like. I'm not a fan. Again, I just felt like it just doesn't fit well. So kudos to her for trying to stand out, and I think for the Grammys, this is definitely not so bad, but I wasn't excited about it.
Courtney,
I like disco balls.
Oh, me too.
No, I agree. I completely agree with you, Jackie. Like, when I saw her on camera, and it's funny because I tweeted, because I came in on the red carpet, it had already started, and when I sat down, they were talking about Rihanna, and the image on the screen was Jessie J, and I was like, Rihanna looks very pale. But I was like, wow, that dress is amazing. And then I tweeted, like, wait, Jessie J and Rihanna in the same outfit? So anyway, that being said, when the way the sequins sparkled on TV, to me was amazing, and I thought it was divine. When I look at the picture, I can see that the hips weren't fitted very well, and it probably could have been tailored a little bit better for her, but she left an impression on me, and it was exciting, so that's why I picked her and put her on my best dress.
I do really
and I like her voice.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would put her on my best.
And that makes my life complete. But I wanted to hear what you think of the dress now, Mari.
Well, I I don't know if I'd put her on my best dressed if it weren't the Grammys, but for the Grammys, it's all right to look like a disco ball, and I thought she had fun with it. And actually, looking at this picture, she really reminds me of Nelly Furtado with the hair and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she looks a lot like Nelly Furtado, and I love Nelly Furtado and her style. Jessie J actually isn't that petite of a girl. She's got some curves, and so I think she rocked it. I think she looks really good. You're right, Courtney. I think the picture maybe picks up on some stuff that the camera didn't, that maybe it was a little ill-fitted. But on television, I thought she looked great, and I thought she had a lot of fun with it, and I really like it.
Yeah, I think that, that's where it makes the most impact, of course. But it should look great in both ways, pictures and on camera. But certainly on camera really did this justice, and I think, that's first and foremost most important. So I'm going to stick with my first initial reaction on that one. Now, let's talk about Kelly Rowland, because here's my little twist on that. I saw she was the style correspondent, I believe it was for Access Hollywood, and she did in Alberta Freddie, but I saw her try on for a segment leading up to the Grammys 3 or 4 other dresses that really wowed me, like very Grammy feeling, and I was like, oh, wow, I wonder what you can actually pick for the Grammys. So as beautiful and soft as I thought this plush dress was on her with the silver sequin detail, I was disappointed because I saw so many other bold options that I would have loved for the Grammys that I couldn't put her on my best dress list. But obviously some of you guys have her on the best dress list, and so I'm curious to know what you guys think. I was obviously predispositioned with other things in my brain, and of course I hated the hair. So that's my take on Kelly Rowland, but I know, Pamela, you loved her.
I loved her. I love the hair. Now, let me preface that I am a very conservative dresser. But I love this look. I thought it was appropriate, especially with the hair for the Grammys. I thought she was kind of giving a little bit of Diana Ross slicked back. I loved it from the side profile. I think the dress was elegant, stunning. She had some amazing Lorraine Schwartz jewelry, which I wish we could zoom in on because it was fabulous. And she's definitely on my best dress list. I think she really worked it. It did have a bit of a pageantry feel to it, but I loved it. I loved her in it.
Courtney, what'd you think?
Oh, man. Okay. I absolutely love Kelly Rowland. I think that her body is like one of the most amazing things ever. If you've seen her abs, that girl is in shape in ways I could only fantasize about. And I felt like this dress looked like she should be doing the Miss America wave, and she killed a raccoon and put it on the back of her head, and nothing about this works for me because and I get you're not always like sexy or have to be sexy and it's okay to be soft and blah, blah, blah. I don't know, like at the Grammys, like with her body and her energy, like I wanted to see something way sexier than this that just made me say, fire girl, work. And this makes me say, what are you doing? This is not Miss USA. And I just did not like it at all. And that's
you know
what
what though? If this red carpet were the Golden Globes, I think a lot more of you would like her. I think that's the issue I'm hearing, is that she didn't have enough fun with it for the Grammys. And I do agree with that, but regardless of whatever red carpet we're on, I thought she looked great. And I guess I'm going to be the only one to say this, that I liked the hair because...
No, I love the hair.
Oh, okay, good. Well, someone said raccoon, and that's all I focused on. But I liked the hair because it's like straight here and then poofy, and the hair, she had fun with the hair compared to a simple dress, so I thought it worked. And I thought the dress is very pretty, the sheer on the top, and you don't see the behind here, but the behind, she had kind of like a ruched on the butt. And Kelly Osbourne on the red carpet was saying how that's very, very hard to pull off because sometimes it tends to make your butt look bigger. But she has such a fantastic body that it worked. I really liked the look. I thought it was really pretty. It's not screaming pageant to me. I like it.
I wish you guys can go back and look at that segment though, because you'll see, Courtney, you would have gotten your Grammys dresses out of that because she had like 3 or 4 amazing bold colors and sequins and all these great choices, and then I just thought she went too soft. But But that being said, she still looked pretty. Now, someone who's normally so soft and, maybe a little too soft for me, but always sweet, is Taylor Swift. And I put her on the best dress list in Zuhair Murad because I love that this was not the typical Taylor Swift, those same old waves and soft little, dresses, which obviously by the time she got to the stage, she was in like a barn line dance or something, but whatever. But when she walked this red carpet with the hair pulled back and the cap sleeve and the sheer and the sequins, I loved her in this look, and it was a little bit of a departure for her, and that's what made me love it, a little edgy for her. And I loved how she said in her interview that it was something that she looked at and said, I'm so impressed that someone made this. Like, you could tell she truly loved this dress, and I love that because it made her look that much better.
And I thought it was interesting that she had seen the dress months ago, but decided to keep it for the Grammys.
Yeah, that means she really loved it. And you can tell when someone really loves what they're wearing. So I think that totally helped her knock her up a notch to a Best Dress nominee. Pamela, what did you think? I think she was one of your best dressed, right?
Oh, definitely. I wanted to get my body into that dress. I mean, first take her out of it, obviously. But I wanted to get my body into that dress. I want that fabric. I mean, I would use that fabric for a dress. I would use it for a curtain. I loved everything about the sequins, the beading. I think she looks stunning. Unfortunately for me, but fortunately for her, she's very tall. She could pull off this dress. I mean, she's such a striking woman. Well, she's a woman now, right? She's 21. I thought she looked amazing. I thought the hair was right for the dress, pulled back. You could see the back of the dress is equally as stunning as the front. Everything about this look wowed me. I think she looks like a golden goddess.
Totally agree. Courtney, I'm worried. What do you think?
Oh, my God.
Well, really, when I first saw her, I was like, yay, you don't have on bright red lipstick and some princess dress. So I totally appreciate that she, made a departure from what she usually does. The dress itself is absolutely gorgeous. I love the story that she had seen it and really fell in love with it. Her body looks great in it. Something about it just doesn't quite sell me on her enough. I don't feel like I don't know, she didn't quite make best dress for me, but I'm excited about the dress. I like the look. I just don't love it. And I don't know if it's just, is it almost too much for her at the top? Something about the neckline and the work around the neck that almost takes away from her face for me. And I know I say this over and over again, but it's so important for me, even when you're in an amazing dress. I still want to be looking at the woman, and I feel like I'm not looking at her. I'm amazed by what's going on this dress. So I feel like it overwhelmed her a little bit for me, but I still love it. I still liked it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Courtney. When I look at this dress, I think two words. I think high fashion. And that's not really what you want to think about when you look at the red carpet, because I'm thinking more of the dress than I am of her. When you look especially at that shot of her from behind where she's showing her back, she looks like a model who just got off of a fashion runway, which is great. Beautiful dress, hair slicked back. She did the right thing, but herself, she gets lost in it. A model is supposed to be just a hanger for a dress, and she, to me, is just a hanger for this dress right now. And so I think that's why I love the dress, I love the look, but I agree with you. She kind of got lost in it, so.
I see what you guys are saying. I think she got lost in it a little bit, too, because it was so close to the color of her skin tone. That was another little issue I had with it, but I think I loved seeing her like this because I'm not usually a huge, I get a little sick of that same old look, and I love the departures. And it was a beautiful dress. So that being said, from couture in one way to couture in another way, we're technically starting our worst dressed list now, but I know Pamela is going to debate me on our first choice because she is a hot topic, a hot orange flame topic, Fergie in Jean Paul Gaultier couture, flown in 2 weeks ago, which means she had 2 weeks to line it, and she didn't. And so she's on my worst dress list with her grandma panties and, all her see-through lace, hot orange lace. But Pamela, you liked her as a best dress.
I did think this was a best dress because for me, this is Grammys all the way. but not overly crazy, right? We're not in Lady Gaga Minaj territory yet. We're still high fashion, but with a twist. So I heard what everybody was saying, that it was the granny panties and all that stuff, and perhaps if it was even, well, I don't want her to wear a thong with this look. That might be a little bit too much, a little Rose McGowan for me. But I just love this look. I love the color, tangerine tango coral combination. It's perfect for the year. I think it was amazing against her skin tone, and the laser cut detailing was phenomenal. Could she have done a slightly different slip underneath? Maybe. But for the Grammys, I thought Fergie looked Ferga-freaking-licious. I mean... Oh, no. I can't. I loved everything about this. Just, I cannot. It was amazing.
I cannot either, but in a different way. Courtney, what did you think?
Oh, God. Okay. When I saw it, I really, really wanted to love it. Because I'm obviously, like, obsessed with the bright colors. I love this orange thing. I love that it's sheer. It's very Grammys to me. But the big old black panties, like, I just can't. It's like she wore, like, a old house robe over her grandma panties. Like, they should have put something else underneath it. Like, and I get trying to do the sexy with the bra and the panty, but maybe it should have been a nude or an orange. Like, I don't know what it should have been. I can't imagine. Like, I don't know, but it shouldn't have been that. Because it literally looks like she put on a robe over her drawers and just walked out the door like, hey, y'all, I'm good. So I can't. But I wanted to.
No.
Don't worry, Pamela. Don't worry, Pamela. You have an advocate in me. Okay, I did not put her on my best dress list, though, only because I think that the granny panties bothered me. I think if they had just been a little bit shorter and hit her at the hip line as opposed to like higher up on the waistline, I would have loved it. I love that she did the black and orange. Courtney, I thought it would have been terrible if she had done the nude panties and the nude bra with it.
I thought that sounds ugly too. That's why I couldn't figure out what would have worked.
I like the black and the tangerine orange. And like any other day, we'd scream, oh my God, Halloween. But on the Grammys, I think it looks great. And look at that picture of her from the back. Look at that train. And look how great her behind looks.
Look at her butt.
Yeah, look at her butt, and she has the perfect hair for the dress, that slick back ponytail. Maybe the shoulders were a little too much. That could have been a little bit simpler because it was such a wow, crazy dress. I didn't hate it. I didn't put it on my best dressed, but I don't know. Maybe this was like the Rooney Mara from Golden Globes for me. Like it was, I couldn't tell if I loved it. I couldn't tell if I hated it. I don't know. She took a fashion risk, and I'm leaning towards liking it. If she had just cut the panties a little bit lower, I think I would have really, really liked it. And you know what it reminded me of was Rihanna last year did that, remember that it was like very, very see-through, and it was just like white lines like all across? Mm-hmm. That's what it kind of reminded me of, because she was showing a lot of skin, and I don't know. It's the Grammys. I liked it.
Maybe
well, what I will say,
guys, this was high. This would have been the cover of Vogue magazine. It was so amazing.
Pamela, now what are you drinking over there?
I am going into Deathly territory, and I might be taking my show on the road clearly after this. But I am going to stand by Fergie. I think she looks amazing. Freaking amazing.
Well, to each their own. I will say, in defense of you two, I will say from the shoulders up, like when I first saw her, I said, oh my God, that is the shocking color of the carpet. Love it. She will be one of my favorites. But then I saw the whole thing, and I get the sexy thing, and I get that Fergie, and it's the Grammys, but look, Rihanna did sexy. She did it right. This is not sexy to me. This is a mess when you see, like, she just did not pull this, like, look off. Nobody should pull this look off. But there were parts of it that I wanted to love, so I will give you that. But from someone who's debatable to someone who's just completely not even debatable, Lord knows who designed this, we don't want to know, Robin. Another person that I don't really know, but I now know because of her Timberland platforms and her ill-fitting, who knows what, T-shirt and mess of a skirt. Lord help her in this, because I don't even know. There are no words for Timberland platforms and an ill-fitting satin white mini with fabric hanging behind your bottom and a Calvin Klein T-shirt. I mean, did anybody see her before she walked out the door?
Oh, God. Clearly, Amira did not see her. It was horrible. And,
do we all have no words? We literally are all speechless. That's a bad sign for four hosts to all be
because
speechless.
We don't know where to go with this. But as an accessories gal, I was personally offended by this. I almost cried. I was upset. It hurt my feelings. I had to call my husband, who was flying, halfway across the country. I had to call him and say, I'm so disturbed. And he had to console me. It was very emotional. Very emotional.
Courtney?
I don't even... I love Robin, and I know that she has a very special style anyway, and those platform boots are part of it. But I just, honey, I mean, I would have rather her just put on some freaking jeans and a white shirt and a whole lot of jewelry. Like, I don't know what was going on. I don't know where her brain is and why it's there, but it needs to move and go somewhere else.
You know what was so funny for me was when I was watching this, when I saw her, the camera started on top and then slowly moved down. So I was like watching it and I was like, ooh, that shirt. And I was like, ooh, that waist. And I was like, ooh, that skirt. And then it got to the shoes and I was like, holy SHIT. I was like, oh my God. Like literally it couldn't have been timed worse to see the camera go from the top to the most egregious part to the bottom. I was like, oh my God, what are those shoes? What are those shoes? I was just, Pamela, offended would be the best word to describe it.
I think the funniest thing is, Mari, you're right. We literally all were quiet for a second after I announced her name because I don't think any of us knew where to even start. And it's just something that leaves me speechless as a style analyst, that's for sure. But let's move on to another interesting look. Bonnie McKee in Falcone and Shane Peacock.
Who is this? Who is this?
Totally gone wrong. Colors all over the place. The hair, the dress, everything was multicolored. And then the tassels.
Who is Bonnie McKee? Because when you first wrote it down, I thought it was that redheaded country singer. I think that's Bonnie Raitt.
That's fun. Oh, no.
Who is Bonnie McKee?
Can
we have someone singing? Who is she?
She's a songwriter, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she's a songwriter. She just wrote something for, was it Nicki Minaj, I think?
Okay, well, now it's starting to make sense.
She's like a poor man's Gaga Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Not quite there, but trying. And also, I'd like to know if the Fringe has an insurance policy, because that is an accident waiting to happen. Is there a bodyguard walking with her for the accident waiting to happen? Just asking.
I love it. Courtney, what did you think?
You guys are going to laugh.
What is there to say?
I just kind of wish I wouldn't have hated it if it didn't have the tassels, or if maybe they were shorter, or maybe if they were her hair instead of the red, then it might have been all right for me. But and she got tangled in it twice trying to walk down the carpet. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Courtney. If the tassels weren't there, I wouldn't have hated it. She is on trend with the cutout look, and if the tassels weren't there, I wouldn't have hated it.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is this label is one of the hottest labels right now, getting a lot of press and known for their intricate work. And so there were ways that I could figure out that might make it work, but the tassels just obviously weighed it down, if you know what I mean. Definitely were the ultimate worst, well, not the worst accessory of the night, believe it or not. But let's move on to Taraji P. Henson in Dazzler, who I saw this on Pamela's list, and it crossed my mind a bunch of times when I saw this, that ill-fitting, didn't like it, but it wasn't like, compared to so many other things, I didn't put it on my worst dress list, but I'm glad Pamela did because it definitely was one that needed help, and I'm glad we're acknowledging that. Pamela, what did you think?
So here's why I put this on the worst dress. Because it was sad. It was sad because she actually thought it was amazing. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like she was making a statement. It wasn't like she was, going out in an egg or whatever. She put on a dress and thought it was amazing. And I think she thought it was amazing enough to wear it down, not just the Grammys, like the Oscars or wherever. And so that's why she's on my worst dress list. It's not my worst, period. Because this is somebody who thought it was great. And as somebody who also has, big arms, I would never put myself in a halter because a halter is the last thing you want to do when you don't want to accentuate your arms. So I had no love for this look. I mean, she's a beautiful lady, but it was just, in my opinion, a hot mess. And ill-fitted also at the top. There was like some boobage coming out, and it was like, peekaboo, I see you, but I don't want to see you. No.
Yeah, that was a big problem for me. And it almost had like that Madonna thing going on where it went into the different color and it just was horrible. Courtney, what did you think?
I think I'm upset because Taraji is a beautiful lady. She's like 42, 43 years old. Like, she's gorgeous. And I just don't understand why she would not wear a bra, why she didn't put on some Spanx. I mean, I don't like the dress very much, but I could have not hated it if her boobs didn't look like they were in slingshots going sideways. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, she has looked amazing on red carpets, and granted, maybe she's gained a little weight in the last couple of years or something. Like, I don't care. But, like, who let you out of the house and said you don't need to put a bra on? Lift those things up and put them in direct order, not sideways. At least. I don't know. Well, she looks pretty though in the face. Aw.
Yeah, I think the major problem.
Mari?
Yeah, I think the major problem was the boobs, the middle section. She just it's not working for me. I'll leave it at that.
It definitely, more than anything, I think it was the boobage that was the biggest problem. So, unfortunately, sometimes they weigh you down.
Just lift them to the sky.
Yes, they're supposed to be
I've learned from Pamela that every woman size 2 or 40 should have Spanx. Right, Pamela?
Thank you very much. I'm glad you learned something during Fashion Week. I am a size 2. I proudly wear multiple layers of Spanx. Spank it, lift it, and feel fabulous. Done.
All right. Well, let's talk about these matronly ladies that aren't matronly at all, but dress like it. And I'm talking, of course, Carrie Underwood, Adele, who, Courtney, I know you talked about because you liked her, but representing these ladies, different shades, Katy Perry and Ellie Staub in her shades of mint candy apple. Which, another thing Pamela and I learned from Fashion Week is one of the hottest colors right now in nails and everything for spring. But the matronly, the sequins, the matching hair, all I kept thinking was the Magnolia Bakery cupcake. Like, it made me hungry for the Magnolia Bakery cupcakes that are that color. And it's not really what you want to exude when you're walking down a red carpet. So she is definitely worse dressed, unfortunately. Ladies, what did you Pamela, you want to take it?
I thought, she looked like a human crayon, let's be honest. You pulled her out of the box and you wanted to draw something with it. That being said, if you took away the hair, the dress was stunning. I thought she looked so angelic. And speaking of from bad boobies to good boobies, hello. Those are fabulous friends to have. I'd like to borrow them. So I thought her makeup was amazing. I thought the dress was stunning. The hair was really, really unfortunate. And, even the jewelry, she was wearing these ridiculous diamond drop earrings from Norman Silverman that ranked it was like $350,000. So she looked gorgeous. It was just the hair. If it was blonde hair, I think it would have been amazing.
But unfortunately, the hair was blue.
Fortunately. Fortunately for us.
Right. Courtney's lost herself in a moment.
I'm sorry. Okay. I love Katy Perry. She's beautiful. The makeup is gorgeous. The dress is actually gorgeous, and I like that it's kind of a wink to sort of like a Doris Day type look. I think in this picture that we have, she's posed very well to make her boobs look perky and beautiful because they are great boobs. But I think when she was face on, I think she needed to lift those puppies up a little bit because they were sinking into her waist, and I thought it made her look wider up top. And the hair is just a mess. Like, I could have dealt with the blue if it wasn't in that bouffant, maybe, but I don't know. But it wasn't awful. It just wasn't just right.
Okay, I have been pretty, kind about our questionable dressers here, but I'm not going to be kind with Katy Perry. I put her on my worst dressed list, and I didn't hesitate about it. I just thought, maybe it's a pretty dress, maybe on someone else, but not at the Grammys and not on Katy Perry. She has an awesome body. She's always so fun with the short, dresses or the more skin. This was so covered up, so matronly, so ill-fitted, boring. I hated it. Way too sweet for her. I just totally hated it. I really, really hated it. I just thought she looked... This is not the Katy Perry I want to see. I want to see fun, hot, sexy, a little crazy, not matronly. Ugh, I hated the covered up look all the way around. But I think for me, the most egregious was Katy Perry because she's the one who, out of Katy Perry, Carrie Underwood, and Adele, while I hated all three, she's the one who I would least expect to cover herself up and who I would most expect to be in a short dress and rocking the cleavage and everything. I just thought it was a total mess. I don't know if her brain is having a brain fart after the divorce. I don't know what's going on, but I hated it.
It almost felt like someone suggested she do this, and it would shock people because she's normally one way, and then, but you could, for me, I felt like this was not her choice. I didn't feel like she felt amazing in this. I felt like this was at the suggestion of someone else. Whereas Taylor Swift, who made a departure, you could tell she loved the way she looked. I don't think Katy Perry even loved the way she looked. I mean, who would? But yeah, this was not good. But Mari, did you hate it?
Yes.
All right. Well, someone else who, we must mention now because, this is a departure into, out of the atmosphere because I don't even know what to say about this choice. But Nicki Minaj and Versace, I mean, obviously trying to rival Lady Gaga. What comes first, the bishop or the egg? Who cares? They're both stupid. You don't believe in this, and you're just doing this to try and make a splash. And other than that, why do it? I cannot condone this. Nicki Minaj, not acceptable. Super bass is my ringtone, but I still will not accept this. And I will not accept the bishop on the carpet with, or the pope, or whatever he was.
I wanted to dial 411 in Bellevue, as in Bellevue Hospital. I mean, and there's a lot of reasons for Bellevue to be 411 at the Grammys, but this was, first of all, this is sacrilegious. Now, I know Madonna did it years ago, and this is sort of the Madonna of this, the next level. I'm just enough. If you have a good voice, you need all these gimmicks. And speaking to the fashion, how is it humanly possible that the House of Versace signed on to this? Last year she had Givenchy. This year she has Versace. Am I not understanding something? Why would you want your brand out like that?
I totally agree.
I don't know.
You can go ahead. I totally agree on that. I mean, how Versace must feel. How could you... You're still a fashion brand, and this is not fashion.
No, this is costume. And costumes belong in the theater.
And, not even this costume, though. I mean, this seriously reflects poorly on Versace because it's, just not okay. Not okay at all. Courtney, Mari, please, do you have anything to defend
Are you
her?
shocked?
I almost refuse to comment.
Can you please tell everyone what category you put her under, though? Because it was my favorite name for a category.
She was in my people I'd like to smack category. And I have to qualify this with, I'm sort of anti-Nicki Minaj right now, so I'm sure that colors my attitude a bit, but I try to be objective. And she's a beautiful girl. She's a creative girl. I think that I'm so sick of the gimmicks. Like, I just can't. It makes me want to vomit. Like, fine, if that's what you're going to wear on stage in costume because you're performing and you're trying to say something, but you're on the red carpet. Like, just going forward, I would like to see her do something that is not just to garner attention.
And
I'll just leave it at that.
I'd like to see her do something that is original, and that is her. I don't think she's a creative girl. I think she is a total ripoff. I think the fashion and the performance were a poor ripoff of Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga does it 10 times better, and I think the face is a poor ripoff of Lil' Kim. Honestly. Do something original. No, really, do something original. When she walked in, everyone kept comparing her to Lady Gaga. When she did that crazy performance with The Exorcism that no one understood, everyone kept comparing her to Lady Gaga, but when Lady Gaga does it, we think, wow, how original, how creative, we love it. And then Nicki Minaj does it, and it's like, okay, well, that was a bad version of the people who've come before you. And, like, if you're going to do something crazy, at least be original. Maybe I would respect it more.
Totally agree, Mari. I think that was my biggest problem with it, is it was like, okay, what can I do to be like Lady Gaga? And I don't like that at all. And I, as I said, Super Bass is my ringtone. Those two little girls, and Grace, that love her, that were on Ellen, made me fall in love with Nicki Minaj for a moment, but obviously just a mere moment, because then she came out with this. And those two little girls were there, and I wonder what they thought of it. They probably ran in the corner and cried. So that being said, we want originality. Totally agree. But another must-mention, but for good reason, is Corinne Bailey Rae, because as you've heard a few references, Pamela and I were lucky enough. I was lucky enough to be invited to join Fashion with Pamela, and we covered it for AfterBuzz TV, which will be coming this week, hopefully, a special on Fashion Week. So exciting. And one person that I interviewed at Fashion Week is Christian Siriano, my friend from Project Runway. And before the Grammys even hit, he gave us some inside scoop on dressing Corinne Bailey Rae for the Grammys. So stay tuned for that on our Fashion Week coverage coming up on AfterBuzz TV. But I'm not being biased here. I thought Corinne Bailey Rae really looked great. And from dress to the shoes, I thought Christian Siriano did a great job. And I'm not just saying that because my friend, I just said anything. I thought she looked great. Pamela, what did you think?
It was definitely perfect for the Grammys. The only thing I would say is I would have loved to see it on a taller person. Actually, I would have loved to see it on you, Jackie. I think you would have rocked it, but I would. I think I would have loved to see it on somebody a little bit taller. That being said, this was perfect for the Grammys. It had great movement. I dug the hair again. Going back to me liking Kelly Rowland's hair, I think it's a lot of fun, personality. I would have maybe tried a bright shoe, just for some diversity in terms of color, but perfect for the Grammys. Another win for Christian.
Absolutely. Courtney, you had her on your best dress list. Am I correct?
I did. I had her on my best dress list, but only because of the dress, because I absolutely adore the dress. I think it's just fantastic. I think I agree that I wish she was a little bit taller, because it would have made it look a little bit better for me. But I love the dress. I hate the hair. I hate the hair. I hate the hair. And I can say that like 80 million times because she has awesome hair. And I love big hair and big sideways hair. Like, I love that. And this just looks like a mess. And I just don't understand why it looks like a sideways helmet and it doesn't look like a cool, messy, like, pull to the side hair. And she has so much hair, and it's gorgeous hair, and I'm just disappointed in the hair. And I did want to see a brighter shoe. I agree with that, which is why I said I hate the shoes.
Ah.
Yeah. So that's my opinion.
Well, Mari, what did you
I agree with all of you ladies in that I love the dress. The reason why I liked Kelly Rowland's hair is because the dress was very simple, so she had fun with the hair. This dress has a lot going on. I would have liked to have seen her with a slicked back pony or something like that, something that let the dress shine and speak for itself, because the hair with the bottom of the dress is just too much going on. The dress already has enough to it, and I agree, Pamela, good point. I think maybe a neon shoe or something would have been more fun.
All right. Well, neon is certainly coming for spring as well as the pastel. So definitely a little fast and inside scoop there. But we have one more person on our list, ladies, and I saved her for last because, quite frankly, I was afraid she was going to take out her machine gun and shoot me if she heard us talk about her. But Sasha Gradiva, with her machine gun accessory, with that blush pink dress, you know what I have to say about her? I actually liked the dress, and I thought Machine Gun was really crazy, and that was probably, like, she was probably the one crazy thing that I would accept for the Grammys. She was like my pass for the craziness of the Grammys. So actually, she's a must mention. She's definitely someone I actually kind of like.
Interesting.
Pamela, I have a feeling you're going to say something different.
I will, and I'm going to say it in two languages. First, I'll go in English. So I like the dress. The accessories, they're actually expected because even if you go to her site or you see any of her work, she has this very futuristic feel to her. So I agree with you, Jackie, that for the Grammys, it's sort of like I accept it. That being said, and now I'd like to go into the Russian portions of my commentary. Сашечка, моя дорогая, серьезно? Что ты думаешь? Это хорошо? Нам нужно поговорить. That's all I have to say.
Wow. I had no idea you knew Russian. That was pretty awesome.
I am Russian.
Do you guys know that on this special we've had singing, we've had Russian dialect? I am I'm loving us right now. Courtney, what do you have to bring to the table?
Not Russian. I have to bring to the table what the hell and how did she get through security, as I think Juliana asked. Whatever. Like, what are you supposed to say to this?
I know.
The dress is beautiful. I like the, like, old, like, platinum hair and the smoky eyes, and the guns are weird, man. I mean, whatever. Like, how do you comment on that? Like,
I know. And
yes,
that's
she could have toned it down, but then we wouldn't talk about it. So, yeah.
I have to say I already gave my free Grammy pass to Fergie, so I'm all out. So she's not cutting it for me.
You better be careful. That's a machine gun. I do have to agree. I do wonder how she got through security. No jokes aside, though, because you have no idea what that could really be. And so I do think that was pretty funny. And it baffled me. But now that Pamela spoke Russian and Mari has sung for us, I think I feel that my life is complete and we can take a quick commercial and come back with our final Grammys picks. If we have a commercial, I don't know. Phil, shall we go to commercial or just keep on going?
I just like your final thoughts. We don't need to do a commercial today.
I know. We've had enough surprises on this show. So, ladies, as we sign off here, best and worst, starting with Pamela Pekerman.
All right. So my worst is Taraji Henson. I'm sorry, but she thought she looked good, and that's what makes it worse. And my best goes to two. It goes to Kelly Rowland, and I'm sticking by Fergie. I love it. Oh,
Courtney?
All right, my best dress is going to go to somebody we didn't even really talk about because you guys hated her. I'm picking Adele because she looked beautiful, she looked like herself, and she sticks to her personal style. Even if we're tired of her wearing black, she's going to wear black, and she made it sparkle this time, so I was very happy for her. And her makeup was great, and I love a red lip, so that's why she's going to win for me. And in addition to the fact that she's actually amazing and actually won her Grammys, and I'm glad because there were so many crappy people there this year. And my worst will have to probably be, I won't even give Nicki Minaj the attention. I'm going to give my worst dress to. I think I gotta go with. It hurts, but I think I'm actually gonna have to go with Fergie because it was gonna work. Because it was really gonna work, and it didn't work. Like, I don't know, and it's sad, but that's my worst.
Oh boy. You win some, you lose some. Mari Fagel in the studio in L.A., your best and your worst for the Grammys.
I have to say Rihanna was by far the best. And I was going to say the covered-up trio of Katy Perry, Carrie Underwood, and Adele was my worst. But because, Courtney, you picked Adele as your best, I have to talk about her. I'm just going to pick her solely as my worst because you know how Florence from Florence and the Machine always does that white look over and over and over and over and over again. Adele always over and over and over again does that black covered up look, and I don't like it, and I want to see her in something more fun, and I don't know. I really don't like it, and I'm over it, and I love her voice, stunning looks, beautiful face, beautiful voice. I'm over the boring black, you know, like it almost comes off as I don't care. I know my voice is good. I don't give a shit about this red carpet is how it makes me feel. It really does. So I'm going to have to say I love you, Adele. I rock out to you every single day in a car. But, yeah, you were my worst.
Wow. We are really, good thing we're not all in the studio. We get into a cat fight over this. But I have to say that I do have to agree with Mari on the Adele, only because, Courtney, what I'll say about Adele is that she looked to me 10 times better and fresher in her performance with the little bit of sheer and polka dot. And so if she's going to stick with black, I feel like she could still stay a little more interesting, a little young. Like, to me, I thought she was too matronly, and my sister thought she was 37, and she didn't know how old she was,
23 years old.
And that's a bad sign. So that being said, I'm glad you picked
37
Fergie, though,
in English
Courtney.
years.
I'm glad you picked Fergie, though, Courtney. But my best, I have to agree with Mari Fagel. We've been hosting together too long. Rihanna, sexy as can be. I think she stood in her own world in the Grammys, and everyone else came second. So she's my best dressed. And my worst, definitely, nobody said it, so I have to say it. Robin, because it was just, people wouldn't even name the designer because that's how bad it was. So that is my official worst dressed. And ladies, I cannot say how much fun I've had from the singing to the Russians to the bashing of the bad fashion. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, Mari Fagel, Pamela Pekerman, and Courtney Stewart. You can find everybody on Twitter. That's Stewart Starlet, Mari Fagel, and Pamela Pekerman. And I'm Jackie Miranne on Twitter and in real life. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you, hopefully, for the Oscars. And stay tuned for more fashion until then.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.